Welcome, everyone. This is our 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday devotional with Chaplain Dan. I'm Dan Bonner, the chaplain for resident advocacy. That means I'm freed up to be your encourager, your listener, your helper. But today is a day where we're not going to have just any regular devotional. No, today is the eve of Thanksgiving Day in the United States, a uniquely United States holiday. I've been reading this week, rereading some old histories that I hadn't read, frankly, since college, of Plymouth plantations. There's one representative account. It's questioned by some historians as absolutely accurate, but it's good enough as the primary source for an account of the first Thanksgiving. The year was 1621, and according to the ship's logs, the Mayflower arrived at Plymouth, what they named as Plymouth, and claimed it as the Plymouth Bay Colony. For they, the Pilgrims, the Quakers they were, in 1620. So after a year, which included a very, very hard winter in which almost half of the Pilgrims who came on the Mayflower died because of a plague that was spreading, over 2/3 of the women on the Mayflower, these Puritans, died. And there was really just a hardy remnant left. Come the fall and the harvest time, they had food to eat, thank God, because of the special outreach, the missionary witness, we might say today, of the Indians, the Native Americans who occupied that part of the Atlantic New World coast that we know today as New England. The chief of the tribe in that area of Plymouth, what we know today as Massachusetts, the chief of that indigenous tribe was a brave leader named Massasoit. And Massasoit, according to Plymouth's progress, of Pilgrim's Progress, Massasoit and several of his tribal leaders were present for the first Thanksgiving feast. They had brought in the harvest of the corn that the Indians had taught them how to plant, that was their survival staple that first winter. Now think about the dynamics of that harvest feast. Here you had some very religious Christian Puritans who came from England, where they'd been dissenters, persecuted by the leaders of the Church of England. So they came to the New World to found a free colony where they could, well, do what they felt God was leading them to do. And they were a very tightly knit group until the winter ravaged them and the plague afflicted them. Half of their number died that first winter. And the other half survived, at least they give credit, to the outreach and caring compassion of the natives under the leadership of Massasoit. Yes, the Christian, what we might know as a root of Protestant Christianity, was first founded in this country and survived in this country because of the care, the loving, the outreach of Native people to them. It's a beautiful scene. Later on, of course, the history of Anglo-Americans' treatment, relationship with Native American cultures across the East Coast and then pushing west is less than honorable. But that first Thanksgiving, it illustrated, I think, what Jesus meant in the introduction in Matthew in the 3rd chapter, the introduction of his Sermon on the Mount, where he says in very succinct language, love your enemies. Befriend those who persecute you. Powerful words from our Savior and Master. And as we give thanks this Thanksgiving Day, I'd like to remind you of those words. Massasoit, not a Christian, never heard of the Christian message, at least to that point, showed the benevolence of God toward the other, the stranger, the new, the needy. And the Pilgrims were encouraged to the point that they saw those Native American leaders as their friends and invited them to this first big harvest feast that we've come to call Thanksgiving. Yes, have a blessed Thanksgiving tomorrow. I hope that each of you are able to celebrate it with your family or friends or both. But no matter who you're with, remember, we live in a world today where there are enemies. We think of some as the other. We think of people as different than us. The example of the first Thanksgiving is, it may be an occasion to question those judgments and even to risk ourselves a bit, to reach out and invite the enemy, the other, the ones we disagree with, be it big disagreements or small. The theme that Jesus taught so much about was forgiveness And it's really forgiveness of our own sense of being wronged. Yes, we have the power to forgive deep within our hearts and start little by little afresh. The world needs that message reminded to us. Our country needs that message reminded to us. Our churches need that message reminded to us. And maybe even among we, the residents of the Australian community, the Wesleyan community here, need that message reminded to us at Thanksgiving. And so I wish you, my friends, happy Thanksgiving. Love those near to you, but also remember the ones you might include up ahead. Forgiveness. God bless you. I'll see you again Friday on Devotions with Chaplain Dan. Happy Thanksgiving.